Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for calling me here and giving an opportunity to present views with respect to the topic of this session, boosting national economy through strengthening MSMEs. Uh, I have got eminent persons with me who will be speaking on their respective topics. As per the format of this session, we have been allotted 15 minutes to talk on our specific topic linked aspects which we want to uh, put before the esteemed audience. And thereafter, the session would be open for the questions which the learned audience may like to raise to take the topic into a conclusion mode in such a manner that there is a conclusive, unanimous, or agreed or considered way forward in respect of what we have discussed over a period of, say, 1.5 hour. So, talking about strengthening MSMEs, MHI as an organization has been, as a ministry, has been contributing towards the manufacturing sector in India. And then just to put some of the issues straight, like if I talk of Ministry of Heavy Industries, we contribute roughly 9% of the GDP in terms of administering two major sectors in the country, that is auto sector. We are the coordinating ministry, administrative ministry for that. That means that contributes itself today roughly, say, 6.5% of the GDP. And then we also do all the coordination for administering for capital goods sector. So that again contributes roughly, say, 1.8% of the GDP today. So having said that, it becomes very important that not only it's a contribution to GDP, but the supply chain, which mainly comes through the MSMEs, also is strengthened in a manner that the complete chain is available within the country, rather than adding value additions to a system wherein the end part is only taken care of by the country. So it becomes very, very important to always consider something we call in our language, it is called by many terms by in the market, like LVA. Somebody calls it a local value addition, somebody says is a domestic value addition, somebody says it by the value of, by the word value addition. And in the previous sessions, what we would have talked is about how to increase those value addition, and what have been support by Government of India in ensuring that such boosts are there in the national economy. Some of the results which have already been come out and have been shown in the last few years because of these initiatives of Government of India have been that India has been moving up the ladder in terms of becoming fifth largest economy in the world, improving in doing business, improving in its rank in global index, and FDIs inflowing into the country. So, when we talk of Ministry of Heavy Industries, what instruments we have been using to ensure such growth, along with the support to MSMEs, to see that the in-house manufacturing sector really comes forward in a manner we want, so that it supports not only the GDP, but it supports the per capita income, it supports the employment into the country, is through three major interventions which we do through a FAME scheme, which is predominantly for the supply side of the requirement, by giving incentives to those who have been utilizing their electric vehicles for public transport like e-buses, and then commercial transport like taxis, and in case of two-wheelers for individuals as well. And then we also support it for creating those for those demand, creating those enablement of supply side by using two PLI schemes in terms of a PLI for auto and auto components, which takes care of those components especially which are of niche technology. And 103 such components have been identified in this PLI, who can help in creating that supply chain which we have been repeatedly talking in this for boosting our MSMEs, and also a PLI for advanced chemistry cell, which is another niche technology which this country has yet to see. And I'm sure in near future, with the interventions done by MHI in next 1 month, we are going to have a first gigawatt hour plant in the country which would be manufacturing its own advanced chemistry cells. Then the third scheme which we intervene and try to administer is with respect to the capital goods, so enhancing competitiveness in the capital goods sector. So this is precisely the scheme which actually works for the MSME in the best manner, because what we do is we provide uh, uh, platform for interaction between academia and small startups, giving them a fund support in a manner that all three are through MHI, that all three are on the same platform, and they make a uniform attempt in four directions. One is enhancing skill by using upskilling, reskilling acts as per the requirement of the nation. Then doing R&D, developing product or technology, then enhancing testing infrastructure of the country as well. So, as I said, FAME is one scheme wherein the outlay, with an outlay of 10,000 crore, we have been, which has now been increased to 11,500 crore. We have been supporting these e-buses and e-cars program, e-mobility for sustainable growth, not only sustainable growth of the country in terms of environment, but also financially, and creating a supply chain as we talk. So, as I said, in case of such schemes, what is the enabling factor? The enabling factor is that a vehicle which needs to be supported must have achieved a level of DVA. So that ensures that the companies, the assemblers, the end product manufacturers are ensuring that not only tier 1, but tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, kind of all their supply chain is developed within the nation. And as we all understand, maybe if the last one is a bigger business house, or even the tier 1 supplier is relatively a reasonably big business house, but down the line all associated business houses will essentially be MSME, because they are the backbones of our country for generating such requirement or fulfilling such requirements. So that's how this scheme, many of us must have heard about it. And when we all move around in Delhi today, there are 1,300 buses in Delhi supported by MHI, and each of that bus logo has a FAME too, that shows the presence of heavy industries in the country's nooks and corner wherever e-buses are plying in this country now. So, as I said, this is with respect to the phased manufacturing program to ensure that we support and continue supporting MSMEs in this direction. And then the second scheme, which is a much larger scheme of 25,000 crore roughly, and with an investment promised by business houses of 67,000 crore, even three times of that. So that ensures that not only EVs, but whether hybrid vehicles or the niche technologies in the conventional fossil fuel vehicles also do get covered in a manner that the back supply chain is available. And again, the opportunities are enormous for our MSMEs who are in touch with these houses to create that supply chain, which can help us in increasing DVAs, because such strict DVA rules also applies. And here we have 67 component champions who are working, actually who have started working for last 2 years on these internal components, niche technology components of four-wheelers, which can help the nation in developing not only the technology, but new technology or niche technology based products, so that there is a certainty of the supplies, number one, and number two, the in-growing business also is available in terms of supply chain. So then the third scheme which Ministry of Heavy Industry runs for this purpose, as I said, one of the important component of all e-vehicles, which constitutes 40% of the cost of any e-vehicle, whether we talk of a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, three-wheeler, or a e-bus, and that is called advanced chemistry cell-based batteries for charging, recharging of minimum 1,000 cycles. And here again, there is another scheme of 18,100 crore with a committed in additional investment of 14,000 crore by the PLI investors. Uh, to ensure that the country becomes independent over next 5 years in terms of its uh, uh, advanced chemistry cell batteries through development of giga scale battery manufacturing systems into the country. And again, if I put it into a simple terms, while we talk of a advanced chemistry cell, all the components and whether it's a cathode, anode, electrolyzer, separator, or cover, or battery packs, they all have to come through within country during the next course of next 5 years, which is going to generate a lot of opportunity for the MSMEs for doing this business and providing the important value chain within the country. Because again here, by the time 5 years period is over, Niti Aayog and Government of India expects that the 60% of the domestic value addition must be through in-house routes. So these are some of the details. So as I said, from 25% minimum at present to start with, we must reach 60% over a period of 5 years to ensure that. Coming back to this capital goods scheme, which is not very high capital intensive, but concentrates on creation of competitiveness among industry to generate such technologies which are niche technologies, and also products which we are importing otherwise, to have a impact of not only reducing the imports but making ourselves sustained and competitive to stay into the business and look for export opportunities. So as I said, here we are looking for not only investing something, we are looking for creating qualification packs, we are looking for upskilling our workforce, whether it's a field of welding or whether it's a field of all respective automotive manufacturing of capital goods manufacturing, and also creating a platform with help of all the eminent institutes like IITs and NITs, to help them and handhold them for developing such products and technologies. So other than that, we are also ensuring the rest of the part of supporting the MSME or protecting the MSME by issuing QCOs and OTRs by to stop second-hand imports or the sub-quality imports into the country, so that the products which are not perhaps uh, uh, cost competitive, in case there are imports into the country or which are of refurbished or second hand goods, so we can support the industry in doing so. Green hydrogen is another subject which MHI is now working on through its one of its Maharatna, that's BHEL, for creating R&D center in Varanasi in as a recent development. Another is to create industry competitiveness, to make them aware. There are already four industry 4.0 centers opened by Ministry of Heavy Industries, and 10 further are coming in second phase through in a hub and spoke model, so that we can improve not only the capabilities but also our productivity and cost competitiveness by adopting higher standards of automation. So all these schemes have basically been created with the MSME target and national manufacturing systems in target, to create a global manufacturing hub and reducing imports, and then creating an import-export balance, and increasing India's economy through in-house manufacturing, increasing DVAs, working towards clean technology, and contributing towards the automation system. So I thought this would be a good setup for boosting these MSMEs, and then as we move forward in this session, and we have heard views of our eminent panelists, we shall move forward to take the calls from all the eminent guests sitting here. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was the presentation on Make in India and its relevance of MHI. Ladies and gentlemen, taking forward Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, before I request our next speaker to make the presentation, may I say a few words about her? Ms. Rukmani Atre is Joint Development Commissioner, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India, is an officer of the Indian Revenue Service from the batch 2006. In a career spanning more than 17 years, she has worked in various capacities in different roles of direct tax administration, including handling assessment of corporates, trust, businesses, TDS, as well as vigilance and expenditure management. She looks after the policy division, public procurement policy, and investment and finance in Ministry of MSME. With those words, I now invite Ms. Rukmani Atre to kindly make the presentation. For all your question answers, kindly use the question answer slip to be answered in the end of the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be talking about the Public Procurement Policy Order for MSEs. In this order, the word used is micro and small enterprises. As you remember in the morning, Sanjay sir has mentioned that the recently launched scheme Vivad Se Vishwas is much more elaborate. It talks about micro, small, and medium. But when we come to this public procurement policy order, this is little restrictive in nature. This is only for micro and small enterprises. As I take you forward in through this presentation, I'll tell you about the micro, small, and medium enterprises as well. First, just to give you an overview of the MSME sector, there are three types of enterprises in India. The concept used as per the ministry is enterprise. Enterprise is something which is engaged in manufacturing activity or service activity. In this, there are three types of enterprises. The micro operates at a very small level. If you see the contribution of this sector, it contributes to 29% of GDP. It contributes to 36% of the manufacturing output. After agriculture, MSME sector is the second largest employment generator in the country. 44% of the exports are also from MSME. As on date, there are around 36 million registered MSME. As GS sir has already discussed in his presentation, that there are like a number of schemes which are being run for the benefits of micro, small, and medium enterprises. In this similar thing, the structure is that in 2006, one act was introduced, which is called MSMED Act, and this act talks about facilitating the promotion and development of micro, small, and medium enterprise. They gave the concept of this enterprise for the first time. As on date, the structure is that there is a portal called Udyam. Udyam is an online portal, and any entity can go and register themselves on the portal. There were like some discussion that there are like lot of different type of enterprises which are adding value. There is a talk about green technology. There is a talk of enterprises which are into agriculture, food processing, and all such things. So any entity can actually register on Udyam. There are self-help groups, there are cooperative societies as well. So once you are registered on Udyam, you are part of micro, small, and medium enterprises as a ministry, and you are eligible for taking the benefit of the various schemes. Now, if I just compare the difference in the definition of the enterprise, before 2020, the definition was only focusing on the investment part. Now it is a composite definition. It talks about investment as well as turnover of the enterprise. So if you see earlier, the enterprise was divided on manufacturing, into manufacturing and services based on the type of investment. So if you were having investment up to 25 lakhs, you were micro, up to 5 crores, you were small, then up to sorry, more than 10 crore, you were medium. Similarly, for service enterprises, they had given a valuation like this. But now there is a composite criteria. So if you see the table 2, it talks about the micro. So if your investment is not more than a crore and your, I think there is some issue with the slide, its turnover is 10 crore. If you are having an investment up to 10 crore and the turnover is not exceeding 50 crore, then you are a small. The medium is where your investment is not exceeding 50 crores and the turnover is not exceeding 250 crore. So you will be considered micro, small and medium based on these criteria. There is a concept that you keep on moving. So suppose this year your turnover was like in some value and you were a micro, then next year you might graduate to a small enterprises. uh, this is I already spoke about Udyam registration thing. So a micro and small who is registered on Udyam portal as on date is eligible to be benefited for the procurement under PPE order. So that brings me to my topic. This policy has been notified as per the section 11 of the Act. This was implemented in April 2012. In the morning session, I think Anna ma'am was talking about that there are countries where 30% procurement is reserved for SMEs. So similarly in India, as on date, 25% procurement is reserved for micro and small enterprises. This policy became mandatory in 2015. So that means from 2015 onward, all the central ministries, departments, central public sector enterprises, they have to make their annual procurement of 25% of their annual procurement from entities which are categorized as micro or small enterprise. Subsequently, there was a sub-threshold introduced to bring more inclusiveness, equity, and ensuring that the benefits of this policy are reaching the marginalized and women also. So there is a sub-target. For SC, ST owned enterprises, a 4% procurement has to be done, and from women owned enterprises, a 3% procurement has to be done within this 25%. So, like, what are the benefits? So, suppose there is a situation that, like, in the morning there was a discussion that in some tender there is a lowest bid. Now that person is a non-MSE bidder. So suppose there is a company which is either a medium or say heavy industry. They got a bid and they have quoted a price as 100 rupees. Now there is a micro and small enterprise which has quoted 115. So that would be coming in this L1 plus 15% price band. So if the tender can be divided, the 25% of the tendered value based on this matching principle can be allowed to be given to this MSE. And if it is not divisible, then any MSE quoting a price may be awarded full or complete supply of the tendered value if it matches. There are 358 items in the list which are indicated, and out of this list the items have to be procured from only MSEs. There are other benefits which are extended, like tender set free of cost. Tender set free of cost is given to a micro or small enterprises. They are exempted from earnest money deposit. They are also exempted from prior experience and prior turnover criteria, of course, subject to meeting technical and quality specifications. And there is a monitoring which is done by the ministry's level. There is a Sambandh portal. So through this portal, the procurement made by ministries, departments and CPSCs is monitored by the Ministry of MSME, and it was launched on 2017. So the list of products, services and other data is required, and through this we keep on knowing like what is the procurement trend. Many a times CPSCs try to do this vendor development program where they indicate that this is the specific requirement of a particular product. They try to reach out to the micro or small enterprises, they train them and then do this capacity building, and through that they try to ensure ensure that those products are actually produced by those micro and small enterprises. So with these measures, like a sort of hand holding is done by the ministry level, and also there is a assured share which is provided to these enterprises. So like in the morning there was a discussion that, like, say a huge amount, like say 20% of the GDP is through government procurement, and like if you see that, like out of that, of course defense is excluded, but other procurement may 25% has to be from micro and small. So it does give lot of level playing field to the small enterprises. And through this PPP order, we are trying to bring more equity, and it's like under consideration for making certain changes. And earlier the ministry had called for a lot of suggestions from stakeholders, and it's like being considered right now. And later, like in the morning there was a discussion about this Make in India. So in certain areas there was some confusion between this policy and Make in India policy. So in 2023 May, Department of Expenditure has actually come out with a circular where they have given lot of clarification on the concurrent application of these two orders. So based on that thing, the procuring entities can actually go ahead and try to decide like how to make a balance between the Make in India order and public procurement policy from micro and small. So if you see, like, I mean, the procurement from micro and small enterprises is growing from 2019 onward. This is the data for like last 5 years, and similarly for SC/STs and women also it is increasing. Of course, the procurement from SC/ST and women is yet to be reached as per the policy, but the other thing, the normal procurement is quite satisfactory. So with this, I'll conclude my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful presentation. May I now request Mr. Dr. Sanjeev Lekhi, who is the Executive Secretary, World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises, to make his presentation. But may I say a few words about him before I invite him to the podium. Dr. Sanjeev Lekhi is currently working as Executive Secretary at the World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises, an international organization, NABIT certified by QCI, Government of India. He has around 25 years of rich experience in strategy research, consultancy, projects, and have contributed for about 18 research papers and has been actively associated with many ministries. With those words, may I now invite Dr. Sanjeev Lekhi to kindly make the presentation.
Thank you for giving my good presentation or good profile. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the afternoon session. After having lunch, this is very difficult to have patience, I think so. But you are listening since morning, so huge round of applause for the audience first. Okay. So before starting the presentation, I thank to my fellow panelists from Ministry of Heavy Industries and Ministry of MSME for making my talks more easier and simpler so that I can focus on what are the various types of initiatives are being offered by World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises to empower MSMEs. So in this presentation, I'll be sharing the introduction. As we have been already talking about, MSMEs are the backbone of our economy, and the topic is Global Procurement Summit, and the procurement is the backbone of any business. So this is very, very important. The two backbones are there, so they will definitely make them more empowered. As all the statistics already been shared, the contribution to GDP, the export, and the employment generation. So I'll be just throwing up some of the government initiatives or visions of the present government to make India the third largest economy in the world by 2027-28, and MSME's contribution will be immense. As we have been already talking about, the MSMEs are the 99%, 1% is the large organization, and in this 99% of the share, micro having turnover less than 5 crores are again the 99%. 0.66% are the small having turnover less than 75 crores, and medium having turnover 250 crores are 0.33%. So you can see, if you are if Maruti Suzuki is the manufacturer of means automobile, the car manufacturer, so more than 1,000 parts, components are required to manufacture a car. Do you know Maruti Suzuki only design and market the product? All the parts and components are manufactured by MSMEs, the allied companies. One is means one of the MSMEs, they are manufacturing the means different kinds of components of the engine, handle, lock, seat cover, and other components to have a car. But they are called the great manufacturer. So since 2014, the MSMEs were being neglected by various governments. But this current government, they have been already given various initiatives to support them. Many of the schemes already been talked by Ministry of Heavy Industries and the Ministry of MSMEs. So our focus, how WASME, one of the global advocacy for MSMEs, works towards fostering a conducive environment for SME development worldwide. So let me brief about WASME, World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. It is an international organization having consultative and observer status of the United Nations. We work towards the empowerment of MSMEs across globe in credit, technology, and the market access. So these are the very, very important. We are into policy advocacy, enterprise support, research and publications, skill development, conferences, seminars, and other initiatives. So today's agenda, how these MSMEs contribute in the economic development. The vision is already set. 2047, India will be the developed nation, and role of the public procurement will be the most important part. So I'll be talking about what are the current scenario and what are the challenges are being faced by the MSMEs. So already definition is already given, so my task is more easier. So WASME's vision to empower SMEs in credit technology and the market access. So we are basically the facilitator for SMEs. We facilitate and establish, promote, set up, create mechanism, and be a catalyst. These are the activities we have already talked about. These are the things already discussed. So these are the international associations, all the United Nations agencies already there, AWS and other organizations. These are the valuable national associations. Now, the main topic is public procurement and MSMEs. First, you need to understand what are the challenges of this public procurement. Although government has already initiated many initiatives to empower them on the public platform, like government has initiated with the GEM portal, government electronic marketplace, where most of the procurement by the government agencies and the organizations are done online. But initially there were so many challenges in the GEM portal. Now we are closely working with GEM officials to mitigate all the challenges. We have been conducting various types of awareness schemes. See, all the schemes are there. As Ministry of Heavy Industries already talked about various types of FAME scheme and other PLI schemes and all. But the thing is that major challenge is awareness of the various schemes. I had the opportunity to meet Sri Piyush Goyal ji, Minister of Industry and Commerce in 2020 in the January before COVID. So they asked us what are the various types of challenges are being faced by the MSMEs. I categorically told the first one, the awareness of the schemes. Government has already initiated various types of schemes, but on the grassroots level, the schemes are not aware of by the means MSMEs. They are the small players. They do not have that kind of capability or capacity to understand various types of nitty-gritties or the technicalities of the procedure or guidelines. So this was one of the major challenge, and also I advocated about the schemes or the guidelines. They are being framed on the English languages, and many of the MSMEs, they do not understand the English. Even we do not understand. We are the industry association. Most of the time we do not understand the vocabularies and the guidelines. So it is very difficult to make the MSMEs understood about the schemes. Then government came up with the schemes in regional language and in Hindi. So this is the most important decision already been forwarded by the government of India to empower SMEs. So the Indian scenario, I have already talked about how these automobile manufacturers, as many speakers have already talked about the automobile manufacturers, the 1,000 parts and components. So how they can procure? They are being manufactured by MSMEs, but how they can take part in the bidding procedure? So this is also one of the challenge. So you need to, as my suggestion is to the government of India, Ministry of Heavy Industries, Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Finance, and other government officials, they are already there. They have been already involved in the procurement, all the power grid and other organizations, ONGC. We have already conducting various types of vendor development program to procure all kind of things. The challenge is certification, testing. We have limited test labs in India. Very, very important. You need to create more labs to test their products. So whenever they are taking part in the export or any kind of other import or any kind of other supply, they always fail in the quality. So we have already tied up with the Quality Council of India to address these challenges. Another part is they have got good quality of products, they do not know how to market them. That is also very, very important challenge for them. So GEM is one of the platform where the MSMEs can register themselves, and they can also supply to the government of India. another NSSE, the National Small Industries Corporation, another the Ministry of MSME body. They are also doing capacity building programs and all to address their issues. Ministry of MSME, as ma'am has already talked about, the procurement policy and all. ONDC, this is the most important and the future of MSMEs. They have already created a platform where you can source, you can sell your product, you can reach out to maximum number of customers across India. Now they have implemented in India. They are going, I have had the conversation with the CEO ONDC. They have talked about they are rolling out this scheme in other countries also. So this is the very important initiatives by government of India. Earlier they had initiated with the B2C. Now they have moved to B2B, and they are going to implement in other countries also. So WASME already closely working with various organizations like IIT Kanpur. We have already collaborated with them to give them the technology initiative. See, two parameters are very important. One is the innovation and the technology. Earlier speakers, they have been already talking about these things, but in the grassroots level, this is very important part. Now I'm just giving you one example of how technology has already developed the or the means empower the MSMEs. One roadside dabbawala, they were making profits, but the thing was that they had the wastage. So how to minimize wastage? The problem statement was there. Now through incubation cell of the Atal incubation cell of the MIT University, we have approached the startup to address this issue. So they implemented the IoT, Internet of Things technology, with barcoding and freezer in the investment of 1 lakh rupees, and they have scaled up their business from one place to 3 places. So in 1 lakh of investment. So this is the type of initiatives you have to take to address these challenges. Now, one very important, this is the triangular means model we had already approached to the government or presented to the government of India, how the means government, industry and the academia with they can collaborate and address various types of challenges faced by the MSMEs. Government, they are having the policies and the schemes. Academia, they can give inputs and the certification. And MSMEs, where or industries, they have MSMEs and the startups. Startups are the tech savvy. They are the first generation or the second generation people. And on the other hand, MSMEs are the traditional player. So how these startups can support them in getting out of all kind of challenges. So this triangular model is very important. I had the opportunity to present this triangular model in front of the Defense Ministry, where they were just talking about the procurement through MSMEs. So these are the various initiatives already been taken by Government of India, various ministries and the department to empower MSMEs. So this is the quite means inspiring initiatives that is very important to address all the challenges of this means MSME ecosystem. So thank you, IMA, for giving me an opportunity to present our views in front of the audience, and means thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjeev Laik. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to request Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Singh to kindly make his presentation. But before I invite him to the podium, may I say a few words about him. Mr. Sanjeev is a seasoned professional with an impressive 29-year career in public procurement domain. He has a wealth of experience formulating and implementing policy measures and system improvements, demonstrating expertise in drafting policies, procedures, and amendments, standardizing bidding documents, and implementing government's directives such as Make in India at Power Grid Corporation of India. He has handled diverse procurements from high valued and high risk complex projects, including those related to multilateral development banks. He's dedicated and accomplished professionals in the field of public procurement, equipped with the skills and experience to drive excellence in policy formulation, procurement processes, and project management. With those words, may I request Chief General Manager Power Grid, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Singh, to kindly make his presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Before going to this session, before starting the formal presentation, I will just give a brief how the local development in large project and how the local development necessitated, or what is the genesis of this. Why you are talking about giving preference to MSMEs, local development, make in India. Actually, if you see the policy document of the Government of India, that is a manual which has come in July 2022, one of the principles of the public procurement was broader social obligation principle. That means whatever the policy and aim, or what is the basic aim of social development of the Government of India, the public procurement authority have to comply with that and take measures to ensure that those policy of the Government of India, those policy like giving preferential preference in purchasing from weaker section of the society, upliftment of the society, making the local content more percentage wise increase in that our procurement. That is the policy of the Government of India, which we are following. And we are this session and the session of MSME and local content is based on that broader obligation principle of the public procurement. First, a brief about Power Grid Corporation, that we are discussing large procurement. It is a Maharatna CPSU under Ministry of Power. It is the largest center public transmission, electrical power transmission utility. It is a listed company with 51.34% of the government holding. It has net worth of 86,000 crores and a gross fixed assets of 2,73,276 crores. It has a transmission network of 1,76,762 kilometers of transmission lines, 276 substations spread across all over the country. It has a transmission capacity of 5,20,546 MVA. And if we see the future growth of electricity in India, our installed capacity has to grow by for non-fossil fuel has to grow by 500 gigawatt. And for achieving the planned RE capacity of 500 gigawatt by 2030, we require a transmission capacity of 537 gigawatt by that time. And it will need a capital investment of 2,44,200 crores. And it is an estimated addition of length of transmission line will be 50,000 circuit kilometer. And estimated addition of the substation capacity will be 4,33,000 MVA. So this much capacity, this much capital outlay we require in the future in 2030 only. The source is from CA. So with this background of capital investment, we come to our policy, what is Power Grid is doing. Power Grid is a basic principle of procurement is our policy and procedure. Our basic principle of the procurement is to encourage the development of local, domestic, contracting and manufacturing industry agency. Is one of the primary consideration of Power Grid's work and procurement policy. With this consideration, we are focusing on this aspect of MSME procurement and Make in India procurement. Role of MSME has already been discussed by the previous speakers. This is a key factor for growth of the Indian economy. sector has contributed greatly to employment generation, exports, innovation, and inclusive growth of the economy. The inclusive growth of the economy, which is made possible by the MSEB, is very vital for all over growth of the country. It is not the pocket of the industry country should be grow with some industry setting up there. The MSEB takes care of the inclusive growth of the country as a whole, so that whole country is benefited by the economic upliftment of the country. There are 63 million, there is some figures, and for FY20, MSC contributed 30% of the India's GDPs. The MSC sector has also generated ample opportunity for individuals nationwide. MSC also played a key role in industrialization of the country rural area in very cost-effective way. And as far as international trade is concerned, MSCs have contributed nearly 40% of the India's total exports. Now coming to Power Grid and some policy, this has already been discussed. MSE are exempted from submitting tender fee in Power Grid, like it is mandated by the government. Purchase preference, 25% of the package value is given in divisible packages. Margin of preference is 15% as given in the policy. Vendor development program for MSE is conducted regularly by us. A special vendor development program for MSE owned by women SC/ST entrepreneurs and benefit of micro, small and medium industries are extended up to 3 years on upward change in the status of Udyam registration enterprises. And payment through TEDS platform is also facilitated by Power Grid. But going beyond that mandate, what minimum required by the government, we have made something more than what is required by the government. In some of the cases, like in case of Arunachal Pradesh, we have made that 30% of the local services has to be procured from the Arunachal Pradesh state, because that was a very poor state, and when we did the bidding for that, we made a condition that 30% of the services, of the installation services, will be procured from Arunachal Pradesh. Then we are floating exclusive tenders for SC/ST and women MSCs. This is a distinct approach for exclusive tenders, where only these type of vendors will participate. Then relaxation of financial qualification criteria. This is optional in the policy. As Madam has said, zero turnover and zero technical experience. It was an optional thing. It is an optional thing as per the policy. We have made that for 100% relaxation of the prior turnover requirement. Of course, we have not gone for 100% technical exemption, because there is some technology involved in our sector, so it cannot be done away with. Then purchase preference of 100% of the package value in case of non-divisible packages. So this is also not a mandated thing. This was an optional thing, but we have gone for 100% of the package value if the L1, the MSC matches the price of the L1. Then vendor registration. This is one more thing we have done. Normally, when we assess a vendor, we go to the factory, when do the assessment, we take some charges from other bidders, like 1.5 lakh at least. But for MSC, we exempted those. Then other measures to encourage MSC, ED level committee to look into various aspects. There is highest level executive director level committees there to look into the various grievances, any issues faced by the MSC, any individual MSC or as a group. Then nodal officers to look into the delayed payment reported on Samadhan portal and uploading of the monthly procurement data on Samadhan portal. Then in our website, there is a MSC Info Center also, which gives the complete information about our policy, government policy, and what extra we are doing as we are discussing. This is the procurement data from for the last 5 years. We are normally meeting the 25% target, but of course in the sub-target of 4% and 3%, we are still have some shortfall. For we are taking vendor development program, doing exclusive tender for that we have started few months back, and shortly we'll see the desired result to achieve this also. Then public procurement, Make in India, coming to MSME, and then Make in India as mandated by the government. The DPIT has issued a circular 2017, and it has revised in 2020.
and MOP is the nodal agency for us. It is for less than 5 lakh it is exempted, and for more than 5 lakh it is applicable wholly as a total. Then MOP has notified a list of items which are all aware, you are aware. Then only class 1 local suppliers are eligible if it is in the list of the MOP. But before that, before this government mandate had come, we are already doing this certain things which are greatly encouraging Make in India program of the government. Like for encourage indigenous development and contractor, we have introduced alternative routes in our qualification requirement. If somebody is not meeting the main qualification requirement of a particular voltage, we have introduced that if we have made something in India, we have established a factory in India, there is some relaxed QR for that. By that method, we have introduced 345 class transformers, reactors, 345 class above voltage gas insulated substations, and HTLS, a special type of conductors. So even before 2017, tender conditions require foreign bidder to establish manufacturing assembly facility in India and supply at least one unit from the Indian works for their high technology item like 765 kV gas insulated substations, STATCOMs, HVDC control and protections, and which were imported due to non-availability in the local market. So as a major buyer of these products, we have forced the market to make in India. We have driven the market to come to a local production, come establish a local facility so that it can be made in India fully. So these are the main equipment which we force the manufacturer to produce in India. These are the foreign manufacturer in the middle. These are the equipment. These are the foreign manufacturer, and they are plants. So NHBS India has set up a factory in Vizag. Similarly, Hosung South Korea, Siemens Germany, ABB Sweden, GE France, Toshiba, Takai, Pingao, Bording, everybody established a factory there. Then we have undertaken vendor development programs also to encourage vendor development. Some procurement cases are marked as the vendor development packages. For such cases, various bidding documents are relaxed with respect to relaxed QR, splitting of award, so that more than one vendor can be awarded and more than one vendor can be developed in a single package. Some of the vendor development packages we took was HTLS conductor, insulated cross arms, and emergency restoration system. So these are the items which recently we took vendor development, that is procurement of emergency restoration system up to 400 kV. Then we have awarded these packages to high-tech system and advert. These are the party we have developed for manufacturing in India. Then vendor development for insulated cross arms. This technology was not available in India. So we took a vendor development and developed 4 vendors within available pool, that is Deccan, Bharat Heavy, Electricals, Lumino Industries, and JSK Industry. So these are all the measures we took to develop the Indian manufacturing unit, which driving the market. We are the major buyer and we can drive the market, that we are sure. So we took a decision that for measure our equipment, we are largely dependent on the import, and which we spend a lot of money out, particularly foreign currency. We decided that we will force the manufacturer to set up a factory in India even before the orders came. And right now we are following all the government regulations and doing all the percentages, as you can see. So this is our import reduction in the last 5 years. So if our import was in the middle of that, in 2016-17 to 2,300, now it has reduced to 60 crore. With all these efforts of last 6-7 years, we have reduced the export considerably, and even our procurement level is nearly constant. Thank you.